Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. He's over there. What's up, Chip? Good to see you on once again here on the chain. So tonight, XRP, is it go time? Is it time to pack your bags and put on your astronaut suit? Well, you know what? The XRP, Ripple, the SEC came out looking like they were trying to peddle a little bit of governmental influence on the court. We want to get into that a little bit. We want to reference that cryptocurrency, passwords, keys, the FBI, and Bitcoin wallets being hacked. The hackers hacked. What? We're going to talk about that, Chip.
Let's go.
Let's.
Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
What is going
Love
on?
that open. Yeah, I had to play the long one today, Jeff, because I felt like, we haven't played that in a while. We used to do the short version. It was just like nice to play the long version. How is everybody doing? Drop where you're from, city, country, drop it in there. Jeff and I'd like to see what's going on. Yeah, I mean, it's it's kind of funny what's happening. We just had that clown show. I mean, that Bitcoin 2021 in Miami. And although some good things happened, it seems like the good was drowned out by some of the stuff that just wasn't so good. It wasn't a good look. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and I don't know.
Weird stuff. It's always
I almost
weird
feel like
stuff.
maybe people are just in their houses too long. They're like in Florida, where we've been basically out since almost what was it, August last year, basically July, August, whatever.
June. And I was going out to dinner back in May of last year.
Yeah, it was like it's just what it is.
Yep. So all good things don't come to an end, but all good things keep going and growing and building and all that good stuff. Sevilla.
I say, yeah, Sevilla, yeah, Spain, very nice. Martin, I will say shout out to you, man. Love your tweets. You're always putting good stuff out there. Always really appreciate your stuff. We got Cape Town in the house today as well.
Nice.
Which is nice. Georgia, right above us there. So Wynwood. Don't give anything about Wynwood, man. I've had my say about Wynwood. I'm not going to go there anymore. So yeah, that's
Cocaine in the house tonight.
Sweden is in here. Yeah, so it's nice to see people popping in from
Moneybags.
Is Moneybags in here?
He is.
Oh, good to see you, Bob. Bob was I was following his tweets and his progress. He was in Vegas last I think it was last weekend. He just went for the weekend, spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun to see that. But there's a lot going on as far as, especially when we look at, I mean, I don't even know where to start, but I think we should talk about this U.S.
Good idea.
Let's try this Senate thing, Jeff. I think this might be a good place to start. Distributed ledgers.
I got it queued up.
All right, let's put it in. Boom. Distributed ledgers included in tech-focused bill passed by the U.S. Senate. Now, this is usually a weird headline, Jeff, because usually when we're seeing this stuff, it's like the proposed bill, which never gets a vote or makes it out of committee, was voted on never, right? So that's like the token taxonomy introduced 3 times. But this one actually got passed by the Senate. The U.S. Senate's massive technology bill gives a nod towards blockchain. And this was passed by, it's called the Endless Frontier Act. It's a bipartisan bill tackling China's recent technology efforts by creating a new technology dictatorate that includes blockchain as a main focus. It sounds good on its head, right, Jeff? I mean, right, its face.
It really does.
Sounds good.
There were 614 amendments to it.
Is that all, Jeff?
That's it.
So Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer passed for a 68 to 32 vote late Tuesday. It includes distributed ledger technology. Cybersecurity is one of these supposed 10 key technology focus areas, followed by amendment by Senator Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming, who is just all in on blockchain, Bitcoin. She was at the Bitcoin 2021 with Warren Davidson. They did a panel, one of the better ones that I saw. There was a bunch of interesting ones. And the bill also includes financial surveillance, illicit finance, of course, Jeff, because you know how everyone's using digital assets for bad purposes, economic coercion, risks.
They don't get tracked down and caught ever.
Right?
Doesn't happen.
And then the bill's other provisions take aim at like semiconductor production, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, communications, blah, blah, blah. And then we get down to, yeah, it still has to pass the House, but Cynthia Loomis is the one that actually put this, the distributed ledger amendment, which really, let's see if she is right there.
I've been reading through the text and reading through the 17 titles that they made for this, and I'm really hard pressed to find anything that has to do with blockchain or distributed ledger technology as I go through it. So the bill, as it seems to have passed through the Congress, although it's gone through so many different changes.
Do you have the bill, Jeff?
Here, yeah, I'm reading the bill right now.
Put it up.
Oh, should we put it up?
Yeah,
All
toss it up there, because this is like a lot of clickbait. It just says a lot of words, doesn't really say any substance here.
So let's put it up here. So S1260. So S1260 reported to the Senate back in May. And this is, again, the Endless, where is it? The Endless Frontier Act. So
it's endless, Jeff. It just never ends. You continue to add amendments, and it never ends.
To establish a new directorate for technology and innovation in the National Science Foundation, to establish a regional technology hub, to require a strategy and report on economic security, science, research, innovation, manufacturing, and job creation, to establish a critical supply chain resiliency program, and for other purposes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting for the blockchain part. Where's that part?
That's in the other purposes.
Yeah, I've got that one here. Yeah.
To establish, okay, we got that. And for the other purposes, apparently they crossed a lot of it out because none of that part really was relevant. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why all this is crossed out. I couldn't tell you. The whole bill seems to be crossed out. All right. That's the first time I've ever seen a bill completely crossed out as you go through it. Don't know what that might mean. However, there's actually two different texts that are available. So we could look at the as reported to the Senate in May, and then introduced to the Senate as of April 20th. So it went through some iterations. And then if you go to the titles of it, and this is, again, it's focused on innovation. So here you have Advancing IoT for Precision Agricultural Act of 2021, Aeronautics Innovation Act, Bioeconomy Research and Development, Combating Sexual Harassment in Science, Impact Act, Improving Minority Participation in Careers in Telecommunication, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, National SEAL Act, National Strategy to Ensure American Leadership, Space Act, Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act. I can see how that fits real nicely into innovation and technology. Makes sense. Maybe that should be on its own, but they're kind of stuffing it in here. Sister City Transparency Act, Space Preservation and Conjunction Emergency Act, because just like with other things, they want to preserve space. Supporting Early Career Research Act.
I'm bored already, Jeff. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how everybody else feels, but just delete that. It's just garbage. Until we get some substantial stuff on there, there's a lot of words. How many words can you put on a page that absolutely carry no meaning? I would say a lot. There's a bunch of them right there, and quite honestly, it's really silly. Let's go on to another thing. So when we talk about blockchain, Jeff, we always talk about custody. We talk about we talk about mass adoption, but the bigger thing is like we always freak out too. You're moving it off an exchange, you buy an exchange, you move it to a cold storage, moving it to somebody, whatever it is. Your heart's like pitter pattering because it's a big deal. Now you get a newbie in there and they don't really know what they're doing, and they do one wrong thing and it's gone forever. It's like, that's a pretty tough lesson to learn. And we just had this, we've seen a lot of shakedowns with these hackers, supposed hackers, Jeff, I'll say that, supposed hackers going in and taking over, hitting businesses, hitting the oil things, all kinds of stuff like that. And then the community started asking some questions. They're like, wait, what? And so, we started seeing like a little bit of like, start like the sniff test. Does it pass the sniff test? Jeff Bennett says, the federal government says it seized by court order 2.3 million of the ransom paid by Colonial Pipeline. Remember, they got shook down for that. They paid it in Bitcoin. The FBI had the password to the hacker's Bitcoin account, Pete Williams from NBC reports. Today, we turned the tables on the dark side, said Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, right? And then we have Caitlin Long, who weighs in and says, the FBI had the password to the hacker's Bitcoin account? There's no such thing as a Bitcoin account. Did hackers use an exchange? In which case, an account existed, but it's not a Bitcoin account. Or did the FBI have the private key to the hacker's Bitcoin wallet?
This is a conundrum, Chip. I mean, I look at this. There's two perspectives here, right? One perspective is everything that the governments have been railing, against Bitcoin or for digital assets and Bitcoin used for nefarious purpose. You can't trace it. You can't track it. It's going to be used by terrorists. It's going to be used by criminals. It's going to be used by all these entities. That's why it's bad. That's why you got to stay away from it. Now they just revealed that, hey, by the way, all of that stuff, what we said 2 weeks ago, by the way, within days, we're able to track down and put a hold on these supposed Russian hackers. We put a hold on their account for $2.3 million. And there's a little bit of confusion there, Chip, because on one side you say, hey, this is good. They just proved the case that actually bad, it can't really be used for nefarious purpose. On the other side, there's a lot of misinformation. On a lot of side, on another part, they kind of revealed this whole hacking scheme on the oil pipeline. Maybe it wasn't done by Russian hackers.
Yeah, maybe not, but I mean, well, that's kind of, so you see some other people weighing in here, some alternative sort of answers here. Shane Ellis says the FBI had, not the original Shane Ellis, but had the keys to their own account. FBI is behind these hacks. They want to condition the masses to the ransomware attacks before they attack the stock market with one. Wall Street is not going to blame the stock market for crashing. FBI will blame it on the Russians, right? So that's one take. Of course, we have Lionel says, or Binance got the Bitcoin transactions reversed, which is a possibility. Inside jobs. So you see a lot of people are kind of coming at it like, wait a minute, something doesn't pass the sniff test here. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like something that, let's see what else they have here.
Well, Chip, one of the comments had said that the way they found it was that they were saying that that the keys were on a server in California. So they were able to find the keys to, and you look at it and say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, there you go. Well, wait a minute. These were Russian hackers, a Russian hacking gang in Russia. Why would they why would they use an exchange in the US if they're using an exchange at all? B, why would they keep their keys on some server? It doesn't, none of it makes any sense. And
it doesn't make any sense. But you know what it makes, but you know what it sounds like? It's like when your granddad or your grandma, she says like, they don't really understand technology. And they said, yeah, I was surfing the computer and, oh, you mean surfing the web? No, I was surfing the computer. Like they don't get like the phrasing right. They don't exactly know what they're saying. And this whole thing just doesn't smell right to me because there was a bomber around the Capitol bombings that they got the shoes, they got the photos, everything, not a word. Don't know who it is, never found them, not able to identify them. Meanwhile, they arrested 400 people from the next day on the 6th, but on the 5th of January, the so-called bomber where they had cameras everywhere, they don't know. They don't know who it is. They possibly don't know who it is. So they don't know what happened to the couple $1 trillion we're missing after the $3 trillion after the 11th of September activity that happened. They don't know what happened to that. But they got this person right here because they had a key sitting on a server somewhere. The whole thing just doesn't smell right, Jeff.
Yeah, it doesn't. That part doesn't. Now, the one thing that we've always said as a kind of as commentary to these government officials like Janet Yellen, who said it's going to be used for nefarious purpose, is that Bitcoin, once it's in this blockchain ledger environment, the Bitcoin wallets are trackable. You can watch the money flow. and you know it's going from this Bitcoin wallet to that Bitcoin wallet. And there's organizations out there that are security organizations whose sole job it is to monitor the ebb and flow of organizations, criminal organizations, and terrorist organizations that are moving money through the blockchain, through Bitcoin, and they can trace them, but it's not, you know, the fact this narrative, you know, there's all these other elements that have to go into it. You know, obviously there's, you know, there, once they get one, they start figuring out where they're going. They have to put a network together. They're using traditional spy type techniques to then piece together the narrative of where the money's going. This narrative, it just seems, the whole thing, it just, everything falls apart in my estimation, Chip. I mean, right? As soon as they said they found their keys on an exchange in the US, or they were able to hack it. No, not, I mean, all of that is just doesn't ring true.
Right. Newbies know better.
That we know.
No, exactly. So somebody that's going to shake somebody down, that's going to act. So you know enough to be able to break into a system, shut them down, hold them for ransomware, saying pay the ransom, and then you're going to be like, well, I don't know, we left the keys on a server somewhere. I mean, you know, like a bread trail, so that they could breadcrumbs, they could find it. It just doesn't smell right. I mean, that's all I'll say about it. Something seems off about this whole thing. And it seems like you should probably know more about what you're up to. I don't know. Hackers seem a little bit smarter than that. Of course, there's always robbers that make silly mistakes. But
well, somebody else, Chip, somebody else brought up a point that, you know, I mean, maybe they're not sophisticated hackers. Maybe it was an email type thing, and they put the email out there that got some of the code, and they did it through more of a, you know, maybe they aren't that intelligent. But again, if they're using an exchange in the US, they're definitely not intelligent. And what are the chances that a Russian hacker is going to be using Coinbase or Binance US or whatever it is as their first place to move the asset? And even if they did, if it went from there and then it went to another address, you know, the whole idea of the key, I mean, that it just none of it seems accurate.
So it sounds to me like the government's totally down with crypto now because it's super easy to like retrieve, right?
It's perfect.
It's like you can get it back in a couple of days. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and pay it. We'll figure it out.
Get it back. You can catch them. They know who it is. Boom. There you go. Janet Yellen's argument, null and void. She has nothing to say anymore. And it's done. Mute argument over anything to do with Bitcoin and crypto.
Until next week, Jeff. Next week, they're going to crank that narrative back up. Like, nefarious purposes. It's horrible.
And you can't trace it, and the bad actors, and blah, blah, blah.
So our boy Pomp, you know, Pompiano, it's your boy Pomp. So Pomp put this up. Every once in a while, he puts up something that they go like, huh? He says, retweet if you want your local, state, or national politician to put laser eyes in their profile picture. So like, Jeff, I had to jump in here. I was like, you know what? I don't want anyone putting laser eyes in their profile picture. I want Congress to pass the token taxonomy. You're Pomp. You have that kind of influence. You have millions of people that follow you. Why don't you try to do something that changes like the actual legislation, which makes a difference for all of the digital assets? Time for action now, Jeff. Not laser eyes. What about if we all put laser eyes on a profile picture? Yeah, that's gonna solve it. That reminds me, Jeff. Remember those girls? They were it was off the coast of Africa. They were kidnapped, and people were putting signs. They're putting notes about help the girls and hashtags. Hashtags aren't going to help the 150 girls who were like kidnapped. So you know what? Actions is what's going to help. You know. Yeah. And this is what really kind of gets me about a guy like Pomp. He's really bright. I think he's accomplished a lot, but I mean, seriously, Jeff, you want to put, he wants your local, state, or national politician to put laser eye. I did laser eyes. Oh, okay, you're cool.
Well, I'll tell you who loves laser eyes.
Come on, man, Berserker.
Berserker. I knew it was gonna be Berserker, man. I figured it could be Berserker.
Yeah. Man, what's up with the Pomp, man? What's up with the laser eyes to begin with?
What's up with me freezing again? I didn't even do anything, man. I hate this software so much, man. I do hate it. I'll be back.
Yeah. What's up, Berserker? What is going on, everybody? So, all right, where were we in the grand scheme of things with this conversation? I think we kind of belabored that one quite a bit. I do want to get into something here, but I think Chip put it up in Spanish. So this has to do with a
You can translate the tweet, Jeff.
yeah, I know, but I can't find it now. That's gone. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
I can find it for you.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so and this is cool. This is actually Justin's son. There's been a lot of conversation. El Salvador kind of embracing. Look at, he's got the laser eyes. Justin's son.
He's not a politician though, Jeff, so it doesn't matter.
No, but El Salvador is crypto nation, and he has to put Tron in there. But they weren't adopting Tron; they were establishing and adopting Bitcoin. The first crypto organization to establish an office in El Salvador, which is Tron. But El Salvador has now adopted Bitcoin as an official currency, and that's a big deal. It really is. You know, you have a lot going on. You know, with what's, there's obviously issues there. So people are going to keep, posting all the issues with El Salvador and the human rights and everything else that's going on. But I think the point here in the grander conversation is really focused in on which countries are beginning to move into the digital economy of digital assets and blockchain and Bitcoin and all of that. And we've been seeing the trend. We're feeling the trend.
Well, to fit right in along with that, I mean, if you see what's happening down in South America, Central America, you look at that they have a chance to put themselves on the map. They have a chance to shine, and here you got Paraguay, who may be the next to seek a crypto business with July bill. So the Congressman Carlos Rajala hopes to draw crypto businesses to South America nation with a new bill next month. And that looks like project will allow cryptocurrency companies, whether in mining or in other segments such as exchanges, to finance the Paraguayan operations with cryptocurrencies, remit dividends abroad, capitalize the cryptocurrency profits in local banks. He's a 36-year-old entrepreneur. He discovered Bitcoin in 2017, began trading in 2019. A year after taking a deputy seat for the independent Agamos party, said on Monday, following the announcement, El Salvador would introduce a bill to allow Bitcoin to be treated as legal tender, which we talked about. So it's really exciting. And there you go, Jeff. Laser eyes, just what you wanted. Laser eyes to the moon. Yeah, so they're trying to make Paraguay a crypto hub for Latin America, a model for other countries in the region. He said, if the bill's approved, again, they got to get it approved, they will seek to present a second one promoting the use of Bitcoin as legal tender. So you could actually travel to Central and South America, and you could be using Bitcoin as legal tender. And then I'm sure other cryptos will follow. We want to give Paraguay a blockchain-friendly status. Blockchain-friendly, taxes, the whole nine words. He said that mining companies, the cost in Paraguay, it's about 0.05 kilowatt hour. It's the lowest in the region. Almost 100% of production comes from hydroelectric sources. So they have hydropower down there, and that's a really huge deal, Jeff.
That is a massive deal.
So
what they're up to.
And what's the U.S. up to, Jeff? Authoring a bill with a lot of words in it and passing it in Congress that does nothing.
This is what the U.S. is up to. The IRS and IRS commissioner asked Congress for authority to regulate crypto. Now, this gets a little intimidating when you see commissioners of the IRS wanting to regulate, not provide regulatory clarity, not to provide an easy mechanism to build the space, to create a nice, friendly environment for innovation, to regulate. And so you look at this, and he asked for explicit congressional authority to issue new regulation on crypto. Now, they keep talking about, look, I think we need congressional authority, which he's right. They do need it. And that discussion, that decision has to come from somewhere. It has to come from Congress. He's 100% spot on. Again, Chip, you brought it up earlier. It goes back to Warren Davidson and Darren Soto with the Token Taxonomy Act sitting in the Financial Services Committee under the guidance of Maxine Waters, and they're just sitting on it. It's just sitting there collecting dust, sitting in mothballs. And here you go again, so it's interesting, Chip. You see those countries, Paraguay, you see El Salvador, the Bahamas, Bermuda, and then here you have states like Wyoming and Texas and Idaho, and others that are getting crypto friendly. And then at the federal level where they can actually make some adjustments to really further this initiative. What's going on with that?
Well, I don't look at this as being too. I mean, they're kind of right in a sense. I mean, I know they're listen, the IRS has a job. It's all about to regulate. I want to say relegate, regulate. So they want to regulate it, right? But quite honestly, it's the same thing as the SEC. The SEC should be lobbying Congress too, saying, "Hey, guys, why don't you get together and do this?" Meanwhile, they're off in some fantasy world saying like, "We'd like to have a framework." Well, that's great, but that's not your agency's responsibility. What's your agency's responsibility? Protecting investors. What are you doing? Going down these rabbit holes with silliness. And yeah, I mean, right. I mean, I think they have to be reminded of what they're supposed to be able to do. And they don't seem to quite understand it. And they seem to be completely off base. So the SEC is basically arguing that I told you about those 75 actions and those lawsuits it brought against the crypto companies last 5-6 years. Somehow that's supposed to be that's like the little tip that Ripple was supposed to get. Oh, that's a security. Meanwhile, they're all ICOs, and now they want the Ripple filed today. They filed a counter to squash the whole extension for discovery. They wrote a really nice yeah, it was really nice because they're like, why are we? It was really, I have to say, I'm impressed with Ripple's attorneys, man. They are solid, right? Everything they do is like really well done, I's dotted, T's crossed, just incredibly well done. And you look at, the SEC's tripping over itself. The SEC came out today and I want to find the tweet stream here because I want to play this, but they basically, just paraphrasing, they want almost like a warning to the court. They want the court to know that if it doesn't go their way, this would set a bad precedent. Hey, listen, if it doesn't go your way, it's on you, right? I mean, it's like, can you imagine they're going to judge that? I mean, it's just insane that why would they even for a moment have anything to say whatsoever? It's just, it's incredible. So Ripple filed this opposition. Yeah, for the SEC's request for the 60-day extension. This was on the discovery. They basically said you had 2+ years of discovery.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just reading off that one, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I was going to bring this up, and I think that, but this is really critical though, because when you get into it, think about how the SEC is arguing a point that the fact that they brought 75 actions and other lawsuits against crypto companies over the past 5 to 6 years is enough to put Ripple on notice that XRP was a security. That's kind of what they're.
I just said all that, Jeff.
No, I know, but it has to be repeated because it's
why do we have to repeat it?
Because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, how do you argue that? I just don't get that, Chip. I mean, how does the SEC come out and argue that point?
They're not very
bright.
Hey,
we've been doing this for this whole time, going against these companies, so you should have been paying attention because based on that, you should have known that, that XRP was a security. And you brought this up the other day. I know you just said it, but then they bring up the fact that Telegram, Kick, Paragon, they're all ICOs, and you brought that up yesterday. But this whole idea of Chip, it's like every single time the SEC comes out and does something, they're stacking one bad point after another. And there's a tipping point, right? You can only keep doing that so much until the judge is just like, what the hell are you guys doing? How do you keep, ignoring the judge's, concern over and just coming up with ridiculous statements? Explain that.
I don't know, man. The whole thing to me is just they just keep stepping in it big time. Like, it's like, well, I mean, they're comparing apples to oranges. Get it? Oranges, Howie. I thought I'd throw that in there, but they're just not following the what they should be following in the course of the law. It's like Deaton wrote here, after losing several discovery disputes, the SEC warns the court that if it loses the case, it will cause irreparable damage to the SEC related to future enforcement actions in the cryptocurrency space, and the court should consider consequences before ruling. Now that to me, I could be wrong on this one. Kind of sounds like a sort of a veiled threat there, no?
It does. I mean, they're definitely, saying, that, hey, by the way, if you do this, you're going to put everything in jeopardy. And I've seen this before, with courts where, and it wasn't that long ago we saw this where there was a threat of, of uprisings and other things happening if the court was to, make decisions along a certain path. And maybe they decided correctly or incorrectly, but we'll never know because it was done out of coercion, and this is almost like you're saying, it's almost like the SEC is peddling their influence to get the court to rule in their favor. Because if they don't, then all hell's going to break loose. Now, you can't make a statement like that. I mean, that's just
Jeff, you nailed it. You nailed it. They're trying to coercion. Sounds to be the right word there. Maybe threat's the wrong word. I think coerce, like by putting a statement out there, like, if this doesn't go right, what could possibly happen. Hey, that's on you.
Yep.
So I was reading some more John Deaton. He said, Judge, well, before we do that, I want to just thank Corey Love for that super sticker, that 499. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that. Showing us some love, giving us some love from Corey Love. Thank you. Appreciate that. Says Judge Netburn ruled the discovery is both relevant and necessary, not just related to fair notice defense, but also the court's analysis of the Howey factors relevant to XRP. The SEC objects to XRP holders. And I kind of feel like that's what it almost really feels like, because this whole thing is just, I don't even know, but I just think they just keep missing it, right? And then the fact is, they were asked twice by Judge Netburn to go ahead and release any internal not necessarily internal, interagency, but documents they had talking about Bitcoin, talking about Ethereum as it relates to whether or not it's a security. Twice they've been asked. The judge has asked twice. Now it's going to come up for the third time. I don't think it's going to be a good. I don't care how much coercion you have with the SEC tries to put the shakedown on the judge. I don't think the judge is having any of it, Jeff. I think this is going horribly wrong. And that trial attorney that bailed is like doing this right now. He's like, "Oh God, thank you."
Yeah, I wonder who this new attorney is that's fighting this battle now. It's their new
He's
head
out of Chicago, I think.
I mean, could you imagine? They're like, "Here, hey, by the way, congratulations, you drew the short straw."
You drew the short straw like that.
Good luck. But
yeah,
the one thing that we do know is that the SEC is playing checkers while Ripple's attorneys are playing chess. They're not even in the same game.
Well, I reached out to an attorney friend, asked, what their thought was based on they kind of been following this a little bit, this court case. They said, this is so typical. The SEC brings a bad enforcement action, and then they complain that if the court decides against them, it's going to set a bad precedent. Just shows the poor governance of the SEC in starting this in the first place, and then the poor strategic decisions the trial team is making now. So yeah, it's just it's kind of just it's just insane, man. And then that goes back, Jeff. I mean, quite honestly, to this tweet right here. Basically, I let me see if I can throw this up here. Let me throw it up. Let me see here. Yeah, right here. So this is another one off of Deaton right here. This is kind of a visual, so I'll throw it up there. So it says, this is the one that says, after losing several discovery disputes, the SEC warns the court if it loses the case, right? So I was reminding basically the SEC needs to learn the first rule of holes. When you're in one, stop digging. They're digging a hole to China right now, Jeff. They're so deep in there, you don't even see their head anymore. They're just keep digging the hole deeper and deeper, putting themselves in more jeopardy, hurting themselves. I mean, it's getting to be rough for the SEC, man.
I think you hit it right. That's a perfect comment. They're digging a hole to China, which is very well what they might. That's their plan. They want to go straight to the digital yuan.
Well, Jeff, that was something we just said as kids, because we thought we could get to China if we dug deep enough.
Right.
We really thought, like, if we pictured on the world, we could figure out we could get there. Yeah. We didn't realize we'd have to dig for a long time. We didn't have the right machinery, and also we didn't count on the whole lava stuff. The molten earth wasn't quite formed yet. That happens. We're
It's
just
funny,
kids.
especially you have these tiny little shovels or some sticks, and you start digging.
Yeah, you got about
It's
as
a
far
hole
as your
about this
elbow, and you're
big.
like, okay, we're done. Right? It was like, I think we're done here. I think I don't think we're getting any further. But on another news, look, some other positive news in the whole industry. I thought we'd just leave with this because Flare Network raised an 11.3 million in funding round with Kinetic and DCG. Funding
Wow.
goes towards advancing Flare's mission to bring smart contract functionality to blockchains. And man, could it happen at a better moment, just as they're starting to get momentum towards a release? This is really cool stuff, man. Smart contracts platform, Flare, they raised this funding round. Also included in that was Coin Fund, Grayscale's parent company, digital currency group. So you see that Grayscale even understands, which is the DCG, that's the parent group of Grayscale, and that's Barry Silbert. So you got other firms participating in the funding round: LD Capital, C Fund, Wave Financial, Borderless Capital, Backend. So everyone puts in a little bit of their, and while individuals taking part included Litecoin founder Charlie Lee and Terra co-founder Du Quan. And Charlie Lee has a little bit of jack, maybe he put it into Bitcoin. Who knows? Maybe back in the day he put it into Bitcoin.
Maybe put
Who knows? Who knows? It could have been XRP, but I just know he made. Well, at the time it was like $300 when he sold his stack, right?
Oh yeah, it's like 300. He sold, and the next day it began to tank. But
I wonder why.
he got out at the top. It was
Well, he
real
said
nice.
hodl strong, right?
He did. He said,
Yeah.
"Auto strong, you guys, but I'm out. Good luck."
But when you're looking at these
Never gave
mainstream
up on
sort
the
of,
project.
yeah, exactly. If you look at these mainstream type publications, this one's in Decrypt. It's also good for the community because a lot of people don't really know what's going on with Flare. They might have heard it, but they're like, well, what is this? And then you see, well, it includes, you can do smart contracts, including Dogecoin, XRP,
Yeah.
XLM, and Litecoin. And then you learn, well, what's the Spark token? Now that functions as a governance token, letting users vote on issues,
It's very
such
cool.
as which new network to integrate with collateral for the trustless issuance of coins. And that's going to be cool. What I like about this whole idea of having, like, to be able to delegate your governance is the fact that it stays with you. In other words, you don't have to move it somewhere to be doing the voting, which I think is a very clever way, because almost every time you do something in DeFi, you do some yield farming, whatever it is, you physically have to either wrap it, move it, shove it there, put it in something else. This is different in the fact that you go ahead and you can sort of like, and if you think about it, like lease out your vote, and you let that, and you're going to have competition, so you'll have different organizations vie in for your vote, and you can say, like, I'll give my one over there and one over there, and you earn rewards based on that. And to me, that's kind of a game changer in itself.
Cool.
And what
There's a lot we can do with that.
it's a lot you can do with it. I think that one, this whole thing is, it really kind of talks a little bit about what Flare is, but I think it's important because we just assume, because we're so knee deep in it, that everybody knows. I don't think people do know. I think they miss a lot of the main points of, what the potential possibility is. I don't think they quite honestly get any of it.
But there's so much of this space that they're just, you're feeling where the success points and the fail points are going to be, because it's so new. Even a lot of the DeFi that's popping up right now, these DEX exchanges are potentially, maybe some of them will go away, in a year's time, in 2 years' time. Maybe not. Maybe now these exchanges are so much easier to come into fruition, they're going to pop up all over the place. The question is, then you get into this idea of the regulation, which is what the IRS is talking about, which is what central banks all over the world are talking about. Governments, are they going to lose complete control to this decentralized framework because they can pop up, and then they don't fit within the regulatory framework at all. And then, like you were saying yesterday, you could go and try to buy something in the decentralized exchange, and it's not even what you think you're going to buy. It's something else. It looks like it, but it's not. It just has the same 3 letters, or it's needs a little. I don't want to say that over regulation. We need rules of the road. You don't go out and get in your car without understanding that you stop at red lights and you stay within the white lines and you don't cross over the yellow line. It just, that's the rules of the road. And that's what we need in this instance, and there has to be some protection for the users. Otherwise, it's chaos and anarchy, within the DeFi space. We have to be comfortable going into DeFi that our money is still going to be there when we trade it.
No, it's exactly right. And let's look at this right here. So this was the tweet basically talking about Joel Katz, his vision for the federated sidechains, which we talked a lot about yesterday. This is
That's awesome.
super exciting. And then what I like about this right here is how Flare responded to this. And Flare Network said, should the proposal result in a working product, this trusted sidechain could be made trustless using the state connector system on Flare. And I thought, wow. So, Flare realizes there's another part of this, but for some reason it's not on here. I don't know. I'll have to go look for it, Jeff. But there was another thing where they talked about some possibilities. So they all of a sudden we're seeing that there's a lot of potential here with this. And again, they said one of two, but I don't know where the other connected one is. I can't find it for some reason. I hate when
this is all infrastructure, Chip. I mean, they're building out the infrastructure of the digital economy. And it's different than the existing infrastructure. This is the infrastructure of business. The infrastructure of business in the future is different than where today everything's on paper, or email, or you're using a DocuSign to sign a document. The business of the future is going to be smart contracts. Not going to have to DocuSign. It's all going to be baked in. Everything's going to kind of flow and move, within that structure, and it's going to be legally binding. And then you're going to have all of the, everything that Flare is doing, everything that the XRP is going to do with all these smart chains and, or side chains. And man, it's really exciting. And you're right. People that you come into this space, you don't have full visibility to it. Sometimes it's a little daunting trying to understand and piece it all together. Thank God On the Chain exists.
Yeah. I mean, right there. Here's the second one. The weird thing was they didn't connect it. It was like I had to go back and look for it. It says one of two. They didn't realize they're supposed to connect that, but they say should federated sidechains come to fruition, we'll certainly look at it using reduce the computational complexity of trustlessly reissuing stablecoins back on the XRPL. And that's something you brought up yesterday as far as what the stablecoins is concerned. And that was something I didn't even consider. But you talk about the computational complexity of doing it trustlessly, and that's what this would also bring to reissue those stable coins back on the XRPL. This is just, I mean, it's probably one of the most exciting things. Every year, something that happens, the Ripple makes a move. Now, again, just like anything else, a pretty good idea at this moment in time. I'd like to see something happen in the way of them actually making this a reality. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Hey, someone just brought this up. I thought I'd just throw it up here. It's interesting. Who was it that brought that up? I was just reading it. It was Copper Pot. There you go. So check this out. Perth Mint gold token backed by government guaranteed gold. That's interesting, right? If it's going to be backed by gold, I mean, that's an interesting initiative. It really changes things.
2,000 to 187,000.
Got a haircut.
Check out his cool haircut.
Let's see it. Hang on a second. Hang on.
Look side by side to side. Look at that. Look at that nice haircut. It's real tight. Look here. Look. Show everyone that nice haircut. Look at that great haircut. Say hello to everybody. Yeah, we're in the middle of still streaming here. Here, you want to take over? There you go. You can talk about the digital assets and whatever else you want to talk about.
So make sure to like and subscribe. Not like, but yeah.
Make sure to like and subscribe. I don't know. I'll tell you after.
You're getting robbed.
All right. There you go.
He made the face. He was like,
So we're so what do you think of this? What do you think of the?
I don't know. I was looking here. Look at this right here. It said it went from 2,000 to 187,000 the other day. That's insanity. Was that some sort of a glitch? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Where is it?
I don't know. Well, you probably have to go look at the token price.
Yeah.
I mean, and what
I'll
is
look
it? Is
that
it
up
a
after.
is it a token? Is it a represent? It's backed. It's a token backed by gold.
Backed by gold. Backed by
That's
government
interesting.
guaranteed gold.
Well, that's even
So this
interesting. That
becomes
makes
the
it.
gold standard. Look at that.
Is it like Tether, Jeff, that it's backed by something, but you don't quite know what? It started out as gold, then it became like Bitcoin, it became cash, and it had to do audits. No one really knew. Just
That's a good
curious.
question. Which government is this?
That's
Which
Australia.
is it? Yeah, it probably
Perth.
is.
It's in Perth,
Perth.
so yeah. That's what I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not a geography master, but I will tell you that Perth instantly brings um, by the way, I was on another Aussie stream this morning. It's funny when you're listening to a stream early and it's late over. It's like 10:30 in Australia, and it's like morning for me. So I get to watch the late night stream. So it's kind of cool to watch a live stream. So Michael O2 says, "Top kid, Jeff. Top kid is giving some props over there.
Oh, top kid. I
Top
appreciate
kid
that.
and Berserker says chicken tendies. Is that
Oh
what
yeah,
you're
he loves
looking for? The chicken tendies?
chicken tenders. He loves this
Where's the chicken tenders? Last time he was
Not
looking for the pop
McDonald's.
chips.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Right?
right.
He
The
was
last
like,
time he came in.
the pop chips. Where are the pop chips? I mean, and
Well,
those are great too.
the thing is, he had to get a haircut, and we've been cutting his hair for the longest time. My wife's been cutting his hair. Get the razor, and she goes, "Oh, I watched a YouTube video,
Oh
and
no.
I think I can do this." And I said, "I think it's time to go to a play," but he like refuses to go to an actual salon. So finally, I got him to
Oh, it
the
looks good, man. I like the.
men's barber shop. The proper men's barber
Well,
shop,
now he'll
and
go
then
all the time because he
they
wants
hooked
to
it
be.
up.
He's being like,
Yeah.
he's getting to that age where it's like, it's kind of cool to make sure your hair is all like looking good and all that. Matt
Yep. I
Morrow,
don't have that
thank
issue.
you for that. Appreciate that, Matt. He says, "Hey, Chip, Jeff, all great show as always. Super chat is for your son, Jeff. Love the
Mm.
haircut." So you got to tell
And
Aaron.
he
He's
will be
getting,
starting his YouTube channel this summer. He used to have a YouTube channel, him and his friend,
I remember
and they'd
that.
go on and do their thing. They started getting followers. But no,
Are they
he's
going
going
to
to start.
resurrect it or
Going to
no?
start. No, he's going to do a brand new
A
one.
new one.
It's going to
Gotcha.
be all about Rocket League.
That's
It's going to
his
be
thing,
really
man.
cool. That's his
That's his
thing. Yep.
game. I appreciate
Yep.
that, Matt. Yeah, you gotta
Yep.
hook up Aaron with that.
Yeah,
Hook
it'd be
up
pretty
Aaron with
sweet.
a little bit of cake. Yeah, it was like funny because Jeff and I went down to that Bitcoin thing on Friday. I cruised down to Jeff's house, then we went from there. It's just easier, which was good because the parking was a little bit of the shady side. It's like, well, you can park next to these two giant trucks. Jeff has a giant truck as it is, but it's like these massive, like, what were those things? Like hauling, they're like massive trucks, man. And then a guy's
Oh,
like,
right.
Jeff couldn't get out of his truck. We parked on the street. And the guy was like, I was like, "Jeff, can you get out of there?" He's like, "Yeah, I can get out of there." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know if I'd get a step out. That giant truck may crush you, man."
That was intimidating. Trying to get out of the
I was
car.
like, "How about just jump out my side? We'll go, we'll go that route. That'll work out pretty cool." You know what I mean?
Right.
Appreciate that, man.
Matt
Thank you,
Morrow.
Matt. This one's for you boys. Have a coffee on me. Thank you, man. Really
Appreciate
appreciate that,
that.
Matt. Beautiful.
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah,
But
coffee. Jeff, I only usually have one coffee a day. Today I went for the second coffee. I was like, and you know what? It's still here. It's still in the coffee container. I need one of these puppies because we have this one here for the our merch. We got that with that one side just on the chain
nice.
live. And this is
I
my
like that.
water one. This
Need
goes
to hook one
everywhere
of
with
those
me.
up. Nice. Then you got a coffee one too.
Yeah, it goes everywhere with me. And guys, I'll drop the link in there if you guys want to get some merch. We got a lot of cool merch you can check out. The merch
Yep.
shop's been going pretty well, but we got to add some new things to it.
We'll
Also,
definitely do that. That'll be nice.
too, I wanted to talk a little bit about our podcast.
We need to get one of those, Chip.
Rich Dad, Jeff Dad. That's funny as hell, man. That is funny as hell. What's even funnier is I'm locked up again. God, I hate this software so much. I'm on live streams all day, showing screens, doing presentations, doing video. Nothing here.
Chip
Can't
in
get
his
past.
apple.
Can't.
That's how we do it. Get him to share some things, then he gets all locked up, and then you gotta eject him. Ejected. But hey, what do you guys think? I mean, there's so much development in the space. I was looking at So I'm looking at the development of and the direction that this market is going in, seeing a little pullback. I've had some, people lately seem to be coming out of the woodwork right now. They're coming out, Chip, before where they were excited because the market was trending upwards.
Yeah.
I had one of my buddies got in. He's super fired up, and also using Celsius. But then I've had a couple other friends, now that the market's pulled back, they said, is now a good time to get in? What's going to happen? But it always starts out with the market is crazy. What's happening in the digital asset crypto space? I said, well, sit down, pull back, look out about 10 years. Now tell me what's going on with the crypto space. Just do that. Don't look day to day. Don't look week to week. Don't look month to month. Pull back and look at over the past decade. Look at it since 2010, 2011. Now you tell me what direction it's going in. That's all you got to see. It's like, what's going to happen in the next few months? Who knows? It's a roller coaster ride, and it always has been. And that's, and it's exciting, but a lot of new people are coming into the spaceship, and it's exciting to see, and I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at some of these, the prices, and like with XRP, I got into XRP in 2017 at 24 cents. And then it circled all the way back, right? What did we see back in whenever that was?
11, I think it hit 11.
Yeah, it went down even, and then it was back in the 20 cents range again. I'm like, and then my buddy gets in. I'm like, you just got in lower than what I originally got in at. How exciting is that?
No, it's
and
super
we know
exciting.
where everything is going.
No, it's super exciting. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, that's why if you're thinking like a day trader, then I think you're going to be disappointed. But if you've been around the market long enough, I mean, just go back. You can go to any chart and you can say, well, show me what it looks like over the 52 weeks. Show me what it looks like over a 3-year or 5-year. You can see what it does. You can see the ebb and flow. But most of the time, it's outperforming, traditional markets. So, let's throw this up there. Dr. Orlando XRP Hitman Wallace.
From the Hitman.
Thank you for that, man. Boom. I like that. By the way, I like that avatar. That's
Appreciate
cool,
that. Oh, that's a sweet avatar.
That's sweet, man. Yeah, we can't see the super sticker, but thank you for Dr. O XRP Hitman Wallace. I like that. That's good.
Nice.
Appreciate that. Look at this, Jeff. The DeFi derivatives may be illegal according to the CFTC commissioner. Says federal law doesn't contain any exception for decentralized finance markets. Well, that's weird because DeFi is pretty new. Well, why would it? You know what I mean? So look at this. It says DeFi markets for derivative instruments, meaning future contracts, may not be legal under the Commodity Exchange Act. Well, does the Commodity Exchange Act, Jeff, have something that governs products like that would have anything to do with DeFi? I don't know. I'm just curious.
You would think.
Right.
I'm looking at this, but what's funny about it? Look at the first statement with all of it. What was that first statement? There's no federal law. No exclusion. I'm like, let me think. Okay, so
doesn't contain an exception.
They're trying. You got the Token Taxonomy Act sitting in Congress, in the Financial Services Committee, making recommendations on how to take the first step forward in recognizing this space. Then you have federal law that can make an exception. It's really funny.
Well, it doesn't contain an exception because it wasn't around at the time it was drafted. I mean, that's right. It's like I'm looking up the law. It doesn't say anything about DeFi here, Jeff. I'm looking right here. It doesn't say nothing about DeFi.
Well, I'm starting to think that the Second Amendment. It's the same issue.
By the way, Jeff, I'm thinking crazy town is happening everywhere. I'm in my normal business meetings. Levels. Dude, I'm telling you, man, this year really messed some people's heads up. I had to politely it was crazy today, man. I was like, I don't even know where to start. It's just everybody is gone insane this past year. Sure. I feel like everything else has changed. I feel like maybe I've changed, but I'm talking about normal stuff, and people are like, they can't concentrate, they can't focus, they're not paying attention to what's going on. They're saying goofy things, they're in another world. And I'm like, look, I'm just trying to get some business done here, man. And it's like all kinds of crazy town. You get on one of these. I was on a Zoom call today, and it was 20 minutes, 25 minutes of nothing, Jeff. Blah, 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 like these articles we look at. Is Aaron still looking for something?
What's he looking for? I don't know. He's gone now.
He's gone. What are you talking to there? Julius?
I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to you.
Look at you like, oh, what's that?
I was looking something.
Squirrel.
Talking to myself.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
losing focus in this.
I was saying you're like turning into that crazy town I was talking about. You know what I mean?
So no, I'm looking at it. The idea of derivatives in the DeFi space. There's so much that's going on right now. Some of it just doesn't seem like it should be happening like right now. Look at like margin trading in a speculative market. Is margin trading safe in a speculative investment? But they're creating the framework. There's going to be that casino moment. There's all the big risk takers right now. As you had mentioned, the whole market, it's maturing. But all this stuff, like what you brought up with the derivatives and everything else, it's gonna find its place. But these types of arguments are not helpful.
No.
From these groups.
Yeah, and the CFTC new commissioner comes in. He's like, I don't see. There's no line item for this. Oh, hey, listen. Let's just pass some regulation around cryptocurrency. Ani says it right. She says, ladies and gentlemen, we will be wealthy. It's a matter of time. And that's the kind of thinking you need to have. It's like, well, what happened? 5 minutes. What? And people are like looking at their phone every 2 minutes and looking at the charts. Okay, relax. You guys know how this stuff works. It ebbs and flows. XRP Speedboat, thank you for that. He says, I'm already rich having the OTC family and you guys. Thanks. That's awesome, man.
How awesome is that?
And that's how we think of it, as a family. We're a family here. We assemble. Sometimes you're here, sometimes you're not, but you're always part of this larger community. And Jeff and I appreciate it so much, having you guys here, having you guys show up, the OGs, the regulars show up, and the people who are sitting there listening who go like, oh, this is weird. Who are these two guys? I'll tell you what. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell notifier. Jeff found an interesting stat. I know we hate talking about it, but Jeff, you discovered an interesting stat about how many people actually have clicked the bell notifier and actually get notified. It was some weird number.
Well, it's a low number. It was like 3%. It's relatively low, but that notification also goes out 30 minutes before the video starts normally. Today, I kind of missed the window. Sometimes I miss the window when I'm loading things up, so you don't get it, right? You missed that first one, but that's okay. But it helps. Get the bell notifier. You get notified. You don't have to click it. But I'm thinking that all these Google algorithms, they give you all the stats because they want you to fill in the blanks. But I'm excited. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Did you know that?
I had a hunch, Jeff, because it usually comes after Tuesday. I had somewhat of a tip off.
Yeah, so tomorrow's another night, and we stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And everybody here with us is absolutely outstanding. Why? Because the on-the-chain community is the smartest, most intelligent, most supportive community in the entire ecosystem.
Correct.
I love it.
I like old Greg here, and I don't really think he's old. I think he's being hard on himself. But old Greg says, hey, we need to talk about quantum time travel. That is a cool topic. Man, that is a very cool topic. We don't have time to talk about it tonight, but the quantum time travel, that's interesting. But anyway, I always want to thank everybody. We will be back tomorrow. There's going to be all kinds of good news. Let's see what the SEC colossal mistakes they make in the next 24-hour period, if it's possible. Let's see what Ripple's up to. Let's see what some of our other favorite digital assets are up to. But we'll get back to it. We'll hit it. And anything else, Jeff?
That's it. We'll check everybody else. We'll check everybody out.
We'll check everybody else. We'll check everybody else.
We'll check you guys out on the next one.
Check on the mic. Check.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.